Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Wearing a black shirt, super hot outside. Probably shouldn't be doing that, but we're gonna do this anyway. Today, I've got 5 fragrances that you should not buy, and then 5 fragrances that you should buy instead of these 5. Now, I don't hate every fragrance that I say you shouldn't buy. I'll give you a little explanation as to why I think maybe you shouldn't buy them, but I don't necessarily hate all of them. Some of them I do kind of hate. I'll let you know if I do, but don't take it that I'm saying the 5 fragrances you shouldn't buy are the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. I just think there are better options out there. All that being said, let's jump into this. Okay, first fragrance that you should not buy. This fragrance is from the House of Armaf. Actually, the first 2 fragrances are going to be from the House of Armaf. And that's not me trying to hate on Armaf necessarily. There are a lot of fragrances that they make that are potentially worth owning, really good clones for great prices. But these first 2, just not really a fan of. First one is this one, and this is Blue Homme. This one is a clone of Armani's Acqua di Gio. Let me go ahead and show you the atomizer here. The cap clicks on really, really snugly. It's kind of awkward, but here we go. It's pretty terrible, honestly. Now, as far as Acqua di Gio clones go, it's really not that bad. I'd rather wear the real thing, of course, but this one you can pick up around 20 bucks. So as far as being a super cheap Acqua di Gio clone, you could do worse than this one. If you want something that's gonna give you a similar vibe to Acqua di Gio, my choice would be this one, Perry Ellis 360 Red. This one also has citrus and lavender, but changes things up a little bit with cinnamon. So this is gonna give you a similar feel to Acqua di Gio, a similar scent profile to Acqua di Gio, but with a spicy kind of undertone. And overall, I just think that Perry Ellis 360 Red is a better fragrance than this one. This one is a clone of a fragrance. This one more like inspired by a fragrance. So like I said, it's gonna give you an Acqua di Gio vibe, that little spicy touch. This one is actually a big compliment puller, and it's cheaper than this one, at least most of the time from discounters. So for me, on a personal level, I just think this is a better buy overall than Blue Homme. Though, like I said, if you want a really cheap Acqua di Gio clone that's just a straight up Acqua di Gio clone, this one's not too bad. And then the next one, also Armaf, like I mentioned before, this one is Tag Helm Pour Homme. And this one is supposed to be a clone of Chanel's Bleu de Chanel. I don't like this fragrance. I'll go ahead and spray it a couple times for you guys. It's that cheap kind of Armaf atomizer where it does a little puff and it doesn't feel very smooth going down when you spray it. This one does have a similar vibe to Bleu de Chanel, but much cheaper, which you would expect because that's what this is. But it's not one of those clones where you spray it on and then you go like, wow, for the price, this smells much more expensive. This is one that costs, 20 bucks. When you spray it on, you go, smells about like a $20 fragrance. Yeah. It has ginger, citrus, pink pepper, and mint as some of the notes in the fragrance, but it has kind of a metallic feel to it, metallic kind of smell, and not like Sauvage has a metallic kind of vibe with the Ambroxan. This one just smells like a cheap metallic, not really a cleaner vibe, but not too far off from it. I mean a spray cleaner, that kind of chemically smell. It's got a little bit of that. It has a magnetic cap, but as you can see, it's super cheap. It doesn't really have much grip to it. This part right here, this little plastic piece that goes all the way around the bottom and sides of the bottle, has a propensity of coming undone. So it's just kind of glued on right here, and depending on how lucky you are, it may pop off. And another thing about this, it's got this little dog tag, and when I got this new, it actually kind of had rust, or what looks like rust, around the inside. So I don't know how well you can see that, but this is pretty much how it looked new. Dirty. So instead of that one, if you wanted something that's going to give you a Bleu de Chanel vibe, my first suggestion would be Perry Ellis for Men. And sadly, I don't have my bottle anymore. I actually reviewed it on this channel years back, but my brother liked it, so I gave it to him. Perry Ellis has cardamom, it's got lavender, bitter orange, balsam fir, and yes, it's another Perry Ellis being a better choice than an Armaf. So history repeating itself on this video. In my opinion, the Perry Ellis just smells of higher quality. Gonna give you a similar vibe without that metallic tinge, with a better looking presentation and better performance as well. Just overall, the Perry Ellis is superior, both in terms of the composition of the fragrance, performance, presentation, and the quality of the smell. And then if you wanted to spend a little more money than the Perry Ellis, again, going with the similar Bleu de Chanel vibe, blue fragrance, versatility, compliment factor, all those boxes being checked, you could go with this one, Missoni Parfum Pour Homme. So it would be like Bleu de Chanel at the top, also the most expensive, then the Missoni underneath that, Perry Ellis for men underneath that, and then Tag Helm at the bottom. Up next is a fragrance a lot of people were really excited for, just based mainly off the presentation. And this one followed up from a very successful women's fragrance, also really well known for its presentation. This one is Bad Boy by Carolina Herrera. Don't buy that. Of course, the fragrance that's on the women's side, Good Girl and Bad Boy. So as you can see here, it's got a very unique lightning bolt bottle design, atomizer built right into the top. It's okay. Now, it's not that it smells bad or offensive, it's just very mediocre. It's something that you smell and you go, it's okay, and then you forget about it. So it has tonka, amberwood, cacao, and pepper as some of the notes in the fragrance. Ultimately, this one is just a tonka fragrance, really, when you boil it down. And there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of tonka fragrances out there. It's kind of hard to stand out when you make that your main thing, and then you don't give it a whole lot to set it apart other than a little bit of chocolate and amberwood. Instead of Bad Boy, really there are a lot of scents that you could go with. You could go with one of the new Armani codes, like Code Absolute. It's not really super similar in terms of scent, but it's a much better nighttime sort of fragrance, one that you could really dress up easier. It's going to command more attention. It's going to be more memorable. You could go even with the original Armani code, would be better than that one. As I said, there are a lot of fragrances based around tonka. Most of them you'd be better off going with, but the one that we're going to go with in this video is Pure Tonka from Terry Mugler. Yeah, if you're going with the tonka fragrance, why not just go with one that's pure tonka? So this one also has tonka and cacao, just like Bad Boy. It also, though, has coffee mixed in this fragrance. Also, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of lavender in here. It's gonna have some of that original Amen DNA. The performance here, much better than in Bad Boy. You're trading in a lightning bolt for a star. This one's a really solid release in the Amen line. Sometimes gets overlooked for the other fragrances in the line, like Pure Havana or Pure Malt. Those ones are a bit more popular. But this one, if you love tonka, is awesome. Big compliment puller, great night out fragrance, great fall and wintertime fragrance as well. Lots of versatility here. It is a little bit sweet, can be a little bit heavy, so sometimes you may want to go a little bit lighter on the sprays, but overall it's a better buy, better fragrance than Bad Boy, and usually you can get it for cheaper too. All right, next up is a fragrance that I do not hate, but I do think it is a bit basic, especially considering the house. Typically you can get fragrances from this house for much less. This one is still, as of this video, going for close to 60 bucks at discounters, and in my opinion that's about twice as much as you should pay for it. It's Hugo reversed. So this one of course comes in the Hugo canteen style bottle. Some people think these look cheap, some people think they look cool. I actually kind of like them. They have a little plastic screw cap like that, and here you go, the atomizer. Like I said, little canteen. Atomizer itself, pretty good. Fragrance has rosemary, bergamot, grapefruit, and vetiver. Some people have said that this is kind of like a cheaper, more affordable version of Raja Parfum's Elysium. Don't really get that so much. Elysium has a lot more depth than this fragrance. It's got a lot more going on. Obviously the quality much higher in Elysium, and even side by side, I don't think they're that close. This fragrance, I don't think smells bad. Like I said, it's a good casual daytime kind of fragrance, sort of fragrance you spray on when you jump out of the shower and you're going somewhere casually in summertime. Basically, good daytime scent. Problem is the price, 60 bucks. Like I said, that's about twice what I would expect to pay for this. It doesn't smell like an expensive scent. It smells a little bit on the cheaper side to me personally. For me, like I said, that one's all about price, 60 bucks, just too much. I would go with something like this, Ginger Lover by Azzaro instead. This one has ginger lime vetiver. It is not the same type of scent in the clean shower gel type of scents that this one kind of is. This one is more, Ginger Lover is more centered on a sweet ginger with citrus nuances, and then as it dries down, a little bit of vetiver comes out. That one, Ginger Lover, really does hold that sweet ginger for a long time. A lot of blue fragrances have ginger and citrus in the opening because it's so people-pleasing, it's so nice, people really love that and gravitate toward that. That one makes it the focus of the scent. So the ginger is going to be stretched out a little bit longer than it would normally be in most blue fragrances or super versatile fragrances that do utilize ginger plus some form of citrus. This one's a big compliment puller. It's got surprisingly good performance, and you can pick it up usually for under 30 bucks at discounters. So you could get this for 30 bucks and then another good quality versatile fragrance for 30 bucks and have two really nice fragrances for the cost of this one, which again to me is just casual, daytime, high heat, clean, fresh shower gel kind of a scent. And then last up is a fragrance that really didn't catch on. I think it's for a pretty good reason. It's one that I never really liked, and I got the largest size bottle of this for some reason. I think that maybe there was a good price on it at the time, and I was like, yeah, I'll scoop that up. And now I look at it and go, never gonna use that. Mr. Burberry Eau de Parfum. So the Mr. Burberry line is not really a line that gets a lot of love. You know that, I know that. This one gets even less love than the Eau de Toilette, or at least seems that way to me. The EDT is okay. It does some things different than most other blue fragrances, and I can dig that. Some of the green fragrance notes that they put in there work pretty well, but this one just never really gravitated toward. Cardamom, patchouli, cinnamon, mint, and grapefruit. You can probably tell by the coloration that this one takes the Mr. Burberry Eau de Toilette DNA and darkens things up a little bit, but didn't really improve it for me. It's not that it smells horrible, but it's not something that I care to smell like, which is why I have 150 milliliters of it with probably half a milliliter missing. Burberry Eau de Parfum is the type of blue fragrance made for nightwear and cool weather wear. That's what that one is kind of aiming for. And for me, it's not one of the best. I think if you want a fragrance that's gonna be usable in those same situations, but has more versatility, more complement factor, better performance, just overall a better scent, go with this one. And this is, of course, Versace Dylan Blue. So this one has ambroxan, grapefruit, bergamot, along with incense and patchouli. Some people are gonna hate on it because of the ambroxan, but it does what it's supposed to, which is pulls attention from other people, gets you noticed, and gets compliments. The incense and the patchouli in here make it where you can use it in cooler weather and nighttime, and it works great in those situations. This one is also fairly affordable as far as blue fragrances go, and it's one of the higher quality blue fragrances. I just think overall, this one does everything this one does, but a lot better. So there's the last one for this video. Don't buy this, buy this. All right, guys, it's gonna do it for me. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.